Hi everyone, my name is Fred Aikon, your Lsbf Acca P4 Advanced Financial Management lecturer. We're going to look at 10 easy steps of solving a P4 standard exam question. For the purpose of illustration, I have decided to pick a question called Forbes Co. It is an ACCA question which can be downloaded from the ACCA website, and this is the question involved. I read, following a collapse in credit confidence in the banking sector globally, there have been high levels of volatility in the financial market around the world. Forbes Co. is a UK-listed company and has borrowing requirements of 30 million arising in 2 months' time on 1st March and expect to be able to make repayment of the full amount 6 months from now. The governor of the central bank has suggested that interest rates are now at their peak and could fall over the next quarter. However, the chairman of the Federal Reserve in the United States has suggested that monetary conditions may need to be tightened, which could lead to interest rate rises throughout the major economies. In your judgment, there is now an equal likelihood that interest rate will rise or fall by as much as 100 basis points, depending upon economic conditions over the next quarter. LIBOR is currently 6%, and Forbes Co. can borrow at a fixed rate of LIBOR plus 50 basis points on the short-term money market, but the company's treasurer would like to keep the maximum borrowing rate at or below 6.6%. Short-term sterling index futures have a contract size of £500,000 and a tick size of £12.50. The open and settlement prices of 3-month futures contracts are shown below. Settlement at the end of the month. Open and settlement March, June, and September. You may assume that basis diminishes to zero at contract maturity at a constant rate over time, and that the time interval can be counted in months. Options on sterling futures have contract size of £500,000 and the premium shown as an annual percentage available against a range of exercise prices are as follows. Calls, put, exercise prices, you've got 93,750, 94,000, 94,250. And the question requirement. A. Estimate the effective interest rate cost if the anticipated interest rate exposure is hedged. I. Using the sterling interest rate features, and II. The options on short-term features, 14 marks. B. Outline the benefit and dangers to Forbes of using derivative arrangement in the management of interest rate risk. So this is a standard ACCA P4 Session B type of question. If you happen to get a question like this, how are you going to approach it and solve it within a reasonable time? This is what I have brought 10 steps. What 10 easy steps can you go through in order to solve this question within a reasonable time? So what I'm going to take you through are these 10 steps. First one is question approach, marks and minute allocation, verbs and nouns, question scenario, then the futures contract, how you're going to answer it, then profit or loss on the future contract, and the net interest cost. Then 7 will be how to deal with the option contract. Then 8, profit on the option. 9 and 10 will be the benefit of using derivatives and dangers of using derivatives arrangement. So let's start with question approach. Step 1, question approach. What do we mean by the question approach? What do we mean by the question approach? My advice to candidates solving exam question in the examination room starts from here. If you pick any ACCA question, reading the scenario as it is, you don't know what you are supposed to be doing. So your first thing that you would have to do when you get the question is by reading the requirement. And that is why on the screen, I'm just telling you the requirement drives the question and must be considered first. The moment you read the requirement, it gives you the gist of what you are expected to do in that particular question. So your first approach is to read the question requirement to know what you are expected to be doing. In that question approach too, the second thing that you would have to do is use the reading time to analyze the requirement and to skim read the narratives. The moment you read the requirement during the 15-minute reading time, you know exactly what you are expected of doing. And then you quickly skim through, read through the scenario, which is the narrative, in order to know where to pick what. And you try as much as possible to indicate all those necessary or important things that you need in solving the requirement. Your third one will be skim the narrative during the reading time, then work through line by line, linking the narrative where possible to the requirement. So once you have read a requirement, you've read through the question scenario, you know where to indicate the important things required for the purpose of solving the question in front of you. So this is how you would have to approach the question. And the summary for the question approach is what I have done in here. Reading time is for analyzing the requirement of all questions. After 15 minutes, having gone through all the questions, you should be able to know the question order, the timings, and the question structure. The question order, the timings, and the question structure. So this is your first approach in handling your ACCA P4 question in the examination room.